I did over $335,000 for Sam Zia's launch, who was a self-improvement creator who'd never made any business content before, and we did $335,000 on our first launch together. Now, I broke down every little thing I did for him, strategy and a lot of sauce, at a mastermind I held in Miami. It was actually Ben Bader's mastermind. It was going to be his first mastermind for Artisan Lab, which is his coaching program, but unfortunately, my brother passed away before it could even happen, but the team at Artisan Lab still made it happen. So I hope you guys get a lot of value from this video. If you guys actually watch this video all the way through, I'm so sure that you guys are actually going to be proficient with challenge funnels. So make sure you guys take notes. And if you guys like everything you hear in this video, and you guys want my exact challenge funnel template, the same template that I use for Sam's launch and the launch I did $700,000 for, you can apply for my licensing program in the link in the description. One last thing before you watch the video, there are certain parts in this video that are redacted, and I reserved this specifically for the mastermind attendees because it would literally just not be fair on them if I just revealed everything, right? So enjoy the rest of the video and let's get into it.
I have a special treat for you all. This is Yahya.
What's up?
He is probably the most autistic challenge funnel person I've ever met in my life. His very first challenge he ever did, he did 677K.
700K.
700K, all organic, no ads. And then Ben was actually asking him to speak. He just recently finished a challenge with Sam Zia, who's over there, and they fucking ripped. Yeah, and I'll let the motherfucking man talk himself.
Cool, I appreciate it, son. Alright, cool. I got my notes here because I need to make sure, you know, talking points are there. But yeah, for Sam, we launched like a 3-day free challenge, and we could have obviously, you know, we could have done a VSL funnel, we could have done a webinar funnel, whatever. But there was a problem with Sam because all of his content was self-improvement content. And we'll jump into this in just a second. But yeah, the reason we chose a challenge funnel is because it shortens the sales cycle for high ticket offers, because he's never sold anything in business before. And for the money that we wanted to generate in the time span that we wanted to do it, a challenge funnel just made sense. Because if we were to do like a VSL funnel, for example, it requires like a lot of touch points, a lot of nurturing before they were actually interested in the offer. But a challenge funnel condenses like a whole sales process of just like touch points into like 3 days. And then obviously it builds trust and authority really fast because you're giving straight value over 3 days, not 1 day, literally 3 days of just straight value. So it builds trust and authority. So yeah, I trust you. It makes a lot of money in bulk. And we did it with no sales team. So literally, me and Sam would literally be taking all the sales call. And I'll jump into this in a second as well, how we did that. But yeah, I will say though, challenge funnels are very time intensive. Like we took about like a month to set it up and 2 weeks to market. I think we do have the timeline over here, yeah. 2 to 3 weeks to set it up. This is where we would do all the researching, the branding, the challenge outline, the challenge topic, the marketing strategy, all the funnel builds would take us around 2 to 3 weeks. And then we would do 2 weeks of marketing for where we would launch the paid ads, the organic strategy. And then obviously we want to leave like 2-3 days just in case we make any like mistakes and we want to optimize for. And then 3 days for the actual event for where Sam was presenting. And then 7 days to actually collect the sales and everything, because we keep the cart open for 1 week, right? So let's just say hypothetically our challenge starts on Sunday. On day 2, we would pitch the offer. On day 3, we would re-pitch the offer. And then from day 2 to day 8, we would just be sending emails, WhatsApp messages, etc. Pretty much just trying to bring in as much sales as possible. And then another 7 days we will leave up to, you know, just follow-ups, right? So altogether, it should take around like 6 to 8 weeks before you see any money, but definitely worth it because it makes a lot of money. And this is kind of the results I've seen. So with Sam right now, we're on pace to do slightly over $300,000. We got about 75 people who put down a deposit, and we've closed 50 of them so far. And this 10 we still haven't reached out to. Some people are waiting till this Monday for the banks to open. This is the one we did for my last client, $700,000, fully organic, no sales calls. I literally took all the sales calls. And I promise you, these are the easiest leads you'll ever close. Like all you need is like baseline sales knowledge and you're good. So here's how our challenge funnel worked, because some of you may not be too particularly familiar, but obviously you start with traffic, organic and paid traffic for absolutely any funnel. We drove that traffic to general admission. The general admission was where they were essentially registered for the challenge. So it can either be free or paid. Ours was free. And then we would have OTOs and a VIP admission, right? So we had one OTO, one VIP admission. VIP admission is pretty much like, it's just an OTO, but the sole purpose of OTOs and VIP admission is literally just to stay profitable on the front end, or as close to profitable, just to offset some ad spend. Well, I'll jump into this in a second, but we made back 35% of what we put into ad spend, but we did make some money back. VIP sessions were 1 hour before every general session, and that was less scripted, just more interactive, and just provided more value. Then we take all this traffic and we send to a group chat. So for the group chat, you could use Telegram or you could use WhatsApp, depending on what niche your audience is in. So let's just say, like, for example, for Sam's offer, we use WhatsApp, and the software we use was called SendFlow.pro. It's the best WhatsApp software to use for group chats, but it's quite techy, and it's in like Portuguese, I think. So you need to use like a page translator for it. But if it's like a crypto offer, we would recommend using Telegram. Telegram is a lot easier to set up, very straightforward. But yeah, we would take all the traffic, send it to a group chat, and this is where we would send reminders to increase show up rates for the actual event, and where we would pitch, send pitch messages after we pitch the offer, pretty much getting them to put down a deposit to apply to be part of the program. And then obviously the reminders we sent to the 3-day live event. We hosted ours on YouTube live stream. Sam has about 65,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it just made sense. We could have done Zoom, but when you host on YouTube, you get to optimize for the YouTube algorithm as well. So after the video goes live, for the next week after, people who may have not seen it may see on the YouTube homepage. We were also able to run retargeting ads to the YouTube video to get people to watch the video who opted in but did not show up live. And then on the second day we pitched. We had a payment deposit strategy, which I'll jump into later on. And then our average sales call will last about 5 to 10 minutes, right? At most 15 minutes. And yeah, we'll jump into this at the end, but it's really good. And then if you were there for the guest session that I did in Ben Beta's program after my first launch, you probably have already seen this, but this is what the challenge funnel pretty much looks like. So you guys can take a photo of this if you want, because it's got the outline, but just landing, lead capture, survey page, where we would do lead scoring. And then after the lead scoring, we would have the VIP OTO. And then we also had one more OTO for Sam's after the VIP page. And they would either get redirected to WAP, and after they make the payment, they would get redirected back to the confirmation page. And then on the confirmation page for Sam, we also had a CTA to follow his business Instagram. And I'll tell you why in a sec. So like I said, Sam never made business content on his main Instagram page before. It was all self-improvement content. We had to find a way to bring him leads that are interested in business, but we also wanted to leverage his organic audience, right? So he had about 675,000 followers on Instagram at that time, but every single one of them followed them for self-improvement. But yeah, the fact that we did that number, it just goes to show how much trust you can build with a challenge funnel. But this is pretty much our nurture strategy. Our thought process behind this was how can we leverage Sam's organic? Because we could easily be posting content on his business Instagram, but then it would not reach his main Instagram audience. Or we could run ads from his, we did run ads, but not follower ads, but we started this page with about 1,200 followers. We ran follower ads to his business page, retargeting his main Instagram followers. We would run it off his business Instagram. And then we also ran many chat reels as a collab with his main Instagram, just so we can get that reach. And you can see they work pretty well, right? So yeah. And the reason we chose his business Instagram and we didn't want to make business content on his main Instagram is because we didn't want to damage his current personal brand. So we just wanted to fill in for the followers that were interested in business over to a more concentrated business page. Nah, but it worked. Yeah, so our organic acquisition strategy, we ran many chat collab reels and just story sequences on his business and main Instagram. We also did a few Q&A where we would CTA to the event, which worked pretty well. I would say our story sequences performed our ManyChat, mainly because, I don't know, we couldn't get the same reach with these ManyChat reels for the actual event. We didn't have a video go viral, but we would average around, when he posts this on his main Instagram, we would average around 300 to 400 registrants. We also ran register to the event ads, so pretty much CTAing directly to the event. We originally ran video ads, so we literally spent so much time scripting out video ads. They end up being around 2 minutes long. Obviously we would pitch in 20 seconds in, but I also want to test with image ads, and then Sean recommended me just to do these natively on Instagram rather than I was going to pay someone to actually create graphics, but these outperformed the video ads. So I just cut down the ad spend on the video ads, and we just allocated all that ad spend towards the image ads. But these performed the Instagram style, on the Instagram stories, the feeds. These outperformed the video ads. And then we would have a bunch of variety. So you can see like this one was like in 3 days, like, so 3 days away, 2 days left, registration closes tonight. These performed really well as well. Yeah, we start off at around like $600 a day, like from when we first started, just because like Facebook's like ad limitations didn't allow us to spend. But by the time we got to the event, we were spending about like 1,500 per day. It went up 600, then 800, then 1,000, then 1,200, 1,500. And then we also ran replay retargeting. So after we would post, after the live stream would end on day 1, day 2, day 3, we would have the replays, like we created like an ad. We would drive this traffic to the replay. So we say miss day 1 of the creator challenge, click the link below to catch while the replay is up. Same for day 2, just so the people who opted in and didn't watch live, didn't show up live, they could see that, okay, you just replay is like one button away. So we spent about $25 on each ad for 24 hours. So we would have this up for 24 hours, spend $25 on it because the pool is small, right? We're only retargeting to like 4,000 people. So didn't require a large ad spend. And then we also ran upsell retargeting ads for the people that already registered, but did not purchase a VIP ticket. So this was also relatively low budget. It was like about 25 bucks a day, or I think 35. I don't know why I wrote 25. We also mentioned in the original upsell video on the actual funnel that the price was going up to $97. The price was $67. The price was going up to $97, and then 2 to 3 days out from the event, we increased the price to 87 bucks, and we call it like extended early bird, and that got us relatively decent sales according to the average. I can't remember the average right now, but remember, I think it was up to par with the average or a little bit higher. Offer retargeting ads. So after we pitched on day 2 and day 3, we would run these they're still live right now because today's the last day for Sam's like open cart till we like close the cart and stop taking applications. But we would run these ads as well. And these got us pretty decent people to, remind them to put down on a deposit. We would also do like WhatsApp messages inside of the WhatsApp group chat I was telling you guys about. And yeah, we were spending about like $35 per ad. And then this was part of our nurturing acquisition, paid ad acquisition strategy. So like I said, these guys were in self-improvement. They knew nothing, or that they weren't as like sophisticated as business. So we wanted to prep them up as much as possible for the event. So after they would register for the event, we would also we had a lead scoring set up. I'm not gonna dive into this today, but pretty much what we would grab was like their age, have they tried other businesses, how long they've been making money for, education level, career status, have they invested in mentorships before, and then we would also grab how much money they have right now in their account and how much they're making on a month-on-month basis. And we would take this information, I fed into GPT, and we got some nurturing questions. So we would just ask them like surface layer questions, pretty much getting them to see the opportunity with AI content operations, like what AI content operations is. And then we would ask them second layer questions once they know what AI content operations is like how long would it take to hit 10K per month, what AI content operators do on a day-to-day basis. And then, we just break beliefs and doubts. And then we also had questions to position Sam as an authority in business. So I asked Sam questions in a G-Wagon that was like for some more authority. And I pretty much asked him questions like, you've seen every single business model out there. What do people get wrong when they try to make money online? And things like, why do you think most courses online fail to actually get people results? So things that would frame him as an authority in the business space. And we would run these as retargeting ads. Like you can see over here, we optimize it for through plays, and just to nurture all the opt-ins, and obviously we would like exclude people who watched the video. So for our ad spend on the register ads only, like the ads for the CTA to the event, we spent $13,848 on ad spend. Our cost per lead, it started off at like $5 or $4, and then slowly started creeping up, and we ended about at $8.18 as cost per lead. We got about 1,693 registrants in about 10 days before the challenge. So to be honest, I kind of fucked up with the tracking because like I set up API conversions, but honestly we should have just used Hyros instead. But I only figured out like a solution towards the end, but it didn't really matter. So we made back about 35% of our ad spend just from the ads, but we were still profitable on the ad spend because some of the people that came in organically from the organic traffic we were pushing still bought the OTOs, right? So I think we were just slightly profitable, but still offset all the ad spend before going into the challenge. And then after the challenge, from the register ads, 16 people purchased the offer, which works out to have like a 6.34 return on ad spend, and we made back 77.6K just on people who came in from the ads. Yeah, I think that, so we had like a $54 revenue per lead from ads. About five of these people who purchased this offer had known Sam for less than 1 month, who came from the ads and then because of all like our nurture strategy and everything. This is kind of what our UTM sources look like. So I'm gonna show you guys how to set up UTM because I know some of you guys have no idea. And it's very, very easy, very straightforward. But what UTM does is pretty much tracks where the lead is coming from and from what source and what medium. So you can know like which source is getting the most leads for you, right? So as you can see from Facebook ads, we had 1,693 people come from Facebook ads. Our main Instagram source was the most, it was like 2,000 people. And then business was like 368. Email, he had a super small email list. So we try to build it up in the beginning, but then I'm just like, there's no point, let's just focus all of our efforts into his business Instagram and his main Instagram. So we grew his email list from like 700 people to like 1,500, and then we only sent like 1 email to his list. But this is pretty much how you set up UTMs, right? And it's super, super straightforward. I go to this website called UTM Builder, and all you do is paste the URL off the landing page, enter in the UTM source. So whether it's, I like main Instagram, business Instagram, is it coming from X? Is it coming from email? Essentially the main overarching source. And then within that source, what medium are you using? So Instagram stories or Instagram feed or ManyChat, things like that, right? YouTube description, YouTube pin video, whatever. And then campaign, I would pretty much just have it as like the challenge name because obviously we want to continue ripping more challenges and different events. So I just had it named as One Creator Away Challenge. That was the name of our challenge. And then UTM content. Fuck, what I have for UTM content? I think UTM content, I actually don't remember what I had for UTM content. But these two are really optional, like you don't need them. UTM term, I categorize, like for my clients, I categorize my events. So I would just have like event 1, event 2, event 3, just so we can, take all this data and assign it to like one specific event. Like this, all this data belongs to one event, and then so on and so forth, right? So, and then once you have all this set up, it will generate like a tracking URL, and then I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this type of URL before when you click on a link. And this is how it turns out, right? So UTM source equals main Instagram. Okay, so UTM content would be like the type of content. So story sequence 1, story sequence 2. So that's what you use for UTM content. But link turns out like that. You copy that link, you put it on your Instagram, social media. That's all you do. And then inside of your lead capture forms, pretty much like, where it says name, email, phone, when you capture the lead, you set up hidden fields. So whether you use Typeform, personally, I use tally.so. I think it's 200 times better than Typeform. But to set up hidden fields, they should have like a feature for it. And just enter in these names, UTM_source, UTM under campaign, and pretty much just the same list over here. And what this does is, when a lead opts in with this lead capture form, it will grab the UTM source campaign medium directly from the URL, and after they click, I want to join or whatever, it will take that data and have it in the same record. It just automatically pulls it out from the URL. So for our challenge copywriting strategy, obviously, so I'm gonna break this up. This is like our strategy for the body, for the actual body, like the content of the challenge. Obviously before this, we would have an intro, some expectation setting, but for the actual content, we would repeat this exact framework for 5 different beliefs per day, right? So we would expose an existing belief that they have about making money online or about AI content operations, and then we would present a solution to that belief. So we would solve the belief for them, and then we would give like a logical reasoning. Best way you can do this is like an agreement analogy. I think Cabrin used one yesterday. It was like, would you rather fish in a pond or fish in an ocean? And then you can kind of like logically see like why fishing in an ocean would make sense. And then we would give them like a step-by-step fix on how to do the solution, right? So this is a good balance of breaking the beliefs, but also maintaining the teaching aspect of things, so they're actually getting value and they're learning something, right? So this was an example we used for Sam's event of the same copywriting strategy. So we would expose an existing, this is like condensed, by the way, like we would have more slides. This is just for an example, but we would expose an existing beliefs, which would be, why would a creator pay you if they can do it themselves, right? And then the solution would pretty much be, well, because they don't need an employee, they don't need another editor, they need an operator. Why? Because the problem isn't money, and the problem is maybe they can do it themselves, but they don't have enough time. It's bandwidth, it's how much they can handle, right? And then the audience can automatically see, okay, this makes sense. They're actually busy people, and the problem is actually bandwidth, right? So we've just broken this belief right here, and they no longer believe this. Yeah, so the next thing I want to talk about is our application deposit strategy. Now, again, the good thing about this is no closers, no setters, so you do not need to pay out these commissions, especially as we're all marketers over here. We get to keep 100% of what we make, and we make a fuck ton of money with it, right? So, look, now I will say, this strategy works, but obviously with higher volume, like when you're getting a lot of people coming in, you could still have a closer, but ideally someone with like baseline sales skills, and you could kind of just bring the closer's commission down to like literally like 3%, because all you need is baseline commission. Like, I'm not the best closer, Sam's not the best closer, we both manage to close deals. It's literally just picking up the call or calling them and collecting the cash. Yeah, now before we get into this, your offer still must consist of like the basic fundamentals of what makes a good offer before the pitch. So it still must have scarcity, urgency, price increase, exclusivity, offer stack, payment plans, etc. Everything that makes a good offer, so they'd actually be willing to, you know, put down that deposit. So we're speaking only to qualified leads, and they can't ignore us, because even if they want a refund, they still have to come and talk to us, and that gives us an opportunity to handle their objections. There were a good few amount of people that I wanted to refund. I will literally just pass the phone to Sam. Sam would jump on a call, make it work, and I think we saved like about like 6 people who wanted to refund just from. And usually most of the time it's just like making it work for them. Maybe they need like an extra payment plan, or maybe there was like just miscommunication, didn't have right expectations or whatever. And this is kind of what the offer funnel. So we would have 2 funnels, a challenge funnel, and we would have an offer funnel. The offer funnel will look something like this. We have a lead capture, a deposit page. So as soon as they fill this out, immediately redirect to the checkout page. They get redirected to the checkout page. We go to a confirmation page where we tell them we've received a deposit. We have like a little video pretty much telling Sam like their application is not complete, and to fill out this application form, which was also our lead scoring form, just so they can apply. Now, I will be honest, like from these applications that they put down, like we had about 80 people. I didn't fucking read one of their applications. I approved them all. So the only time I would actually look at their application when they wanted to refund, then I'll look at the situation. Okay, how much money do they actually have? What their situation was like. But this is kind of what our phone call sale would look like, right? So I would literally just call them up and be like, yo, James, congratulations on being selected. Yeah, like, you know, we've received a lot of like applications. We rejected quite a few, but yours was one of the few that Sam actually thought was competent enough to get results from. So big congratulations on that. And they'll be ecstatic. They'll actually be really, really fucking happy. So we just reinforce the exclusivity part. Okay, so like I said, like it must contain all like the core principles like scarcity, urgency, price increases. But this deposit application strategy works mainly on 2 core persuasion principles, right? So amongst all of them, 2 of them actually make them work. And these are kind of what the texts we received, right? So you can see how excited this guy is. He's like, no way, call me right now. Hey, OMG, I was waiting for this, and I haven't slept just for this kind of news. You know, I'm super excited. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you. This means the world, brother. Yo, yeah, hey, you got any advice of how I can stand out during the application process? I recognize the opportunity that I have in front of me, and I'm super keen to get on board with the mentorship program. So, yeah, like I said, this model is a fucking cheat code, bro. Like, you can make so much money. It is so easy. We had a 100% call show up rate for everyone that put down a deposit. Every single one of them picks up the phone, and we had over a 90% close rate. We had 75 applications. I think we had 1 this morning as well. We contacted 50 people, and we only refunded 3 deposits so far. So amongst everyone else, we closed them. Some bonus tips. that worked pretty well. From the people that showed up, the conversion rate on day 2 was like over fucking 10%. I remember seeing 350 people on day 2, and I was like, there's no way we're gonna get 30 people to convert. It's like a 10% conversion rate. There's absolutely no way. Bro, we got like 35 that day 2, and I was like, what the fuck? So I attribute, so what Sam did really well was like, he interacted with the fans, and it was kind of like more stream-like. So he would literally fucking swear, call out people in the fucking chat, like call them like a fucking idiot, like get the fuck out of this live. And it actually helped with retention because it made the webinar feel less like a webinar and more like a stream. And it helped a lot with retention. Like people, it was entertaining. It was literally entertaining amongst all 3 days. Like he did not sound like a bot. Yeah, we set expectations at the beginning of the webinar, offer at the end. So we told them there's gonna be offer at the end, it's live only, there's not gonna be any replays, etc. So they have to watch it. Our post-deposit application, so in the lead scoring form, so in that actual application after they put down a deposit, we would ask them a question, why should we choose them? Like why should we choose them to be part of the program? So we get themselves to sell themselves to us. Pretty much, right? Sam's saying it's worth 10K, but charging 4.8K so you can get testimonials to charge 10K, making more money. That was a pretty good rationale. And the way I can tell what worked is pretty much on what they tell me on the actual sales call. So if they talk about, so they talked about this a lot. They're like, yeah, I trust Sam. He came off super authentic. He said he wants more testimonials. So I had a few people tell me that on call, so I know that worked really well. And obviously the biggest telltale was the exclusivity, where people are just super ecstatic to jump on a phone call. Even with my previous client, it was a 15K to 17.5K offer, and we did a $1,000 refundable deposit, and pretty much same thing. They'd be like, OMG, like me and my wife have been waiting for this for so long, like thank you so much. So it works all around. And then we also did a Q&A at the end for more selling. So I came in, did a Q&A, answered some of the questions, and I pretty much did a lot more hard selling. Like I came in and I would literally tell them, like, I would say something like my story on working with creators and how much I've made with working with creators. And then I would tell them, like, if you're on edge right now, put down a fucking deposit, like go put down a deposit now. And it came off super blunt, but I would say that, and then 5 minutes later, I would literally check my phone and I would literally see more deposits coming in. I'm like, fuck yeah, it worked, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, for some of you, like, you guys know me as this challenge funnel guy. I'm starting like a licensing program and should be done end of this month. I wasn't gonna have this in originally, but I was recommended. If you guys wanna apply for the licensing, you guys can go over there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What questions you guys got? Yeah, what's good, Elijah?
McDonald's application link or something?
Nah, it's just a form. Appreciate it. Yeah, what's good, Elijah?